Hello peeps, welcome to my studio, welcome to my channel, and welcome to this little class on making tube beads. T-U-B-E-B-E-A-D-S. Tube beads. Why are they called tube beads? Look at them, they're tubes. Okay, so here is an old necklace I made. It's very old. And you can see that it's a lot of different colors. Yeah, why not? Why not? And this particular piece I separated with a lot of Japanese seed beads and some crystals and whatever I had, which happens to be quite a bit. Okay, so I bet you guys are much the same. You probably have more beads than you know what to do with. Well, pair them with tube beads. Yeah. Now, I'm going to show you how to make these tube beads. I'm sticking with the greens today. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with them, but I'm going to try to work within the various greens that I have in my studio. So that's what we're doing today. We're making these wonderful tube beads. So hang on, it's time for us to start. All right, so here I've got my two colors, and they are about the same suppleness. I added more to the yellow, or was it this one? I don't know. The goal is to have them the same. So let's make a Skinner blend. Now I'm going to take you through the process for these two colors, and then with the understanding that you're just going to repeat the process with these two. Okay. Basic two-part Skinner blend, one on top of the other. Make two cuts that form a right angle. There's one cut. Here is another cut. Separate these. They can be used for something else. Take them apart. Put them back together again so that you're forming a square or a rectangle, not a kite. A kite, the kite shape. Yeah, so that's close. Okay. Cut the two tabs off in the corners, and the reason, of course, we're doing this is that I want an area that has pure lime and an area that has pure dark green. And if they meet, if I were to cut it here, the whole sheet is blended and there's no pure color. First time, place this side or this side, more than one color, physically touching the rollers, and roll through. My clay has been rolled through the thickest setting of my pasta machine. Now every time after, you're going to fold it the same way, same color edge on same color edge. Now it's been my experience that sometimes you lose the lighter color, so pay special attention to the way you fold and match up this side. Now place the fold on the rollers and roll through. Keep up the process. Now see, it starts flaring out. That's okay. Pull it back in, like so. And I will continue folding and rolling just this way. And then I'll be back. So here's what I have, my Skinner blend sheet. I'm going to place this edge on the rollers and thin it, resetting my machine to setting number 2. Now my machine, my Atlas, starts at 0, and there is a best setting for rolling your clay, and that is the 3rd setting. So on my machine, that's actually setting 2. So I am going to place this edge on the rollers and roll through. Now, the reason it is the best setting is just, it has to do with the gearing. It's where the gears most perfectly mesh together. And so when you tighten, or when you set it to a higher number on the atlas, for instance, 9 would be the thinnest, what happens is the gears get pushed in. Now, when you're at 0, the gears are out. So when you're at the 3rd setting, it's just about perfect. You know, the gearing is perfect. So now let's make a plug. All right. Oh, ooh, look, flower. All right. Now a plug. Making a plug is nothing but reverse reduction. So instead of rolling my hands from center out, I'm rolling my hands from out to center. And making the middle thicker and thicker and thicker. Now, every once in a while, because see, it's a bloop like that, and then it thins. Oh, got to straighten that out, don't we? Like so. Sometimes you can do this kind of thing. Just pushing in. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Okay. Now, if you notice that you're getting kind of a waste in the middle, it's pulling in the middle, sometimes that happens when the clay is harder, like one color is harder than the other. And sometimes it can be quite extreme. Now, this is not a problem at all. But if you need to move the clay in the middle, you can just grip the ends and twist like that. And see what's happening? It's getting chubbier in the middle. Then go back to squashing the ends in like so. Okay. I don't know whether this is going to be the middle or the outside. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking that this might be the outside of the square or the larger square. Maybe. I haven't made up my mind. I'm setting it aside. Now I'm going to repeat the whole process with the orange and the red. Now for this version of that necklace, I'm going to concentrate on greens. I'm going to make everything green. Now this necklace is just every color you can imagine, right? Yes, it's very colorful. I like it a lot. But I think I want greens. So what you see here are just various little plugs from my box full of Skinner Blend plugs. And you know what? I will include the instructions on how to make these plugs. But if you've watched any of my classes, you know that I will use a piece and then I return what's left over into the plug because I can always work it back in and because I don't see any reason to waste effort. Yeah, I'm not efficient in a lot of things, but in terms of my clay work, I guess I am not so bad. Not so bad. See, so this, well, let's take this and turn this into a plug. Just going to take all of this and align it best I can, like so. Let's take this piece too. Maybe we'll toss a stripe in. Okay, let's do it. So first I've got to get it all worked in together, like so. And for that, of course, I'm going to use my pasta machine. But first I've got to flatten it out just a bit. Okay, so let me roll it through. Now I'm going to continue the Skinner blend, right? So it is always folded and rolled through the same way. Like so. So let me do this for a while, and then I'll be back and show you what we've got. All right, so this is what that bunch of clay yielded, this color. Very nice, very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside and continue trying to work together various ones into sheets like this. All right, so this is what I did. I have the least amount of that, that's fine. This, I like this. I do have a little bit more of that. I like this, I like this, I like this. These two seem a little similar, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut this off like that, and I'm gonna add some white to this so we get another variation. Okay, so let me do that, then I'll be back. So here's how I will add the white. You see this strip of white? Now I'm going to roll it with this edge through the rollers, and then I'll continue sort of blending. I never fold this to this, okay? All right, so let's start. We'll do the first one like that. Now I'm going to fold just like Skinner blend, right? Same color on same color. And I'm going to keep going until I work that white through. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I just needed, just another color. So you can see just adding the white created this one for us. Now, let's turn them all into plugs. Okay, so I'll take this because I just did it. And let's roll this up. Maybe I don't have to do this because I already put it in. But maybe it doesn't hurt to show you. Now the ends get a little raggedy, don't they? So in order to get them back, just kind of mush them in there like that. And then start moving it back. Because I want these quite thin or narrow. I want my plugs very short, like that short. Maybe a little, maybe that's a little short, but I'm also going to add some black. Now, I haven't decided whether it's just going to be straight black. I think it's just going to be straight black, not this black blend. La, 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 we're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, we are plugging. Now, I haven't decided whether we're going to make a bunch of different colors or we're going to make one great big one using all of these in the same one. I'm kind of leaning toward that. Got to admit it, I am. It makes the whole thing much easier if I just make one instead of making however many separate tube colorations. So let's see. I'm gonna make my life easy today. Make your life a little easier. You can always experiment with different combinations of your colors, but let's just make our life easy today in this little class. Okay, there's a plug. Now I'm going to plug the rest of them. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, peeps, so this is kind of the way I'm going to do it, I think. I'm going to make two different ones. And one will be these three The other will be these three. I've added black and I've added gold. Those will be used as separators between the colors. I have this extra one. Wait, maybe I'll use that one instead. Doesn't have to be just 3. Let's do 4 on this one, like so. Maybe these are too similar. Now, you know what? I think this is going to be fine. So let me prepare my scrap clay because that is the core, and I'll be back. So here is my scrap clay. I've rolled it through like setting number 2. My atlas starts at 0. And let's roll it up into a cylinder. This is our bead core. Oh, let go. Let go. Okay, here we go. Pull my sleeves up. And we'll make these about 2 inches long each. So I want 4 inches here. I'm going to weigh it out and see how much we start with. Let's close this up. Okay. Let's weigh this. In grams. Now you guys know a 2-ounce package is 56 grams. So what have we got here? 92 grams. So it's under 2 packages of clay. But that's where we're starting. So you're going to need almost 2 ounces, 2 packages of clay, the equivalent. Okay, let's cut this in half. Half here and half here. All right, so I'm going to roll these out through setting number 3. Okay, and the best way and easiest way is for me just to cut some off, then flatten it in between my fingers, then take this guy, start flattening out. Yeah, just like that. Okay. And I'm going to do setting number 3. It's thick enough so that when we stretch this out, I don't think that gray is going to show through. Okay, so let me roll it through. Make it longer. It's this thick. Actually, I've changed my mind. I'm rolling it through setting 2, just to be on the safe side. You see, we're going to take this hunk, we're going to put these strips on this hunk, and then we're going to stretch it out until we have 2 beads about this diameter. That's a lot of clay stretching, a lot. Okay, so let's just cut here, cut here. You can tell I'm not too concerned about the schmutz. I'm not concerned about the schmutz, because by the time you stretch it all out, you don't really see the schmutz either. This kind of goes back in there. Now, let's do black. This I'm going to roll through setting number 2. Everything from now on is through setting number 2. Let me cut a nice thin strip. Place it next to the first. Let's put a little gold one in too. Setting number 2. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. I really like the gold mixed in with these colors. And then I think I want another skinny black one. So it will be not as wide as the gold. Doesn't have to be the same as the first one. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add another one of these. Same way. Cut a hunk off, flatten, roll it through setting number 3, like so. Trim, trim, pick the better side, put it against the black, and I'm going to continue working my way around just like this until I have covered the entire cylinder. Okay, so those are the first 2. Now, the gold and the black is kind of random. I mean, I use it sort of randomly. So maybe this is just black. Maybe I repeat the same thing. But I want something separating each of these strips. Well, I think the black and the gold looks good, so I'm going to keep doing that. We don't really have any rules here. Okay, next color. I think I'm gonna like this. Let's make this one thinner. Just a bit thinner. Then the first 2, and then the last one is this. I think I'll just put black here. Let's see, how much space do I have? Yeah, I'm just going to put black there. And I think I should probably put black on the other side. And that will be the space we're trying to fill. might not be enough. Did I cut enough? We'll see. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, that's enough. Oop, we'll use this side. And let's see how much. Just press that there, lift it, and that's the mark. And we'll follow that mark. And to make it fit, you can even just kind of stretch it a bit if it's a bit too wide. If it's not, if it's a bit narrow, don't worry about it, because as you roll, what's going to happen is it's all going to come together. So there we have it. That's the beginning. So let us roll to try to smooth all these pieces. Get them to join, like so. Now we're ready to make our tube beads. All right, so let's begin. Now the first thing I'm going to do is take a needle tool and pierce a hole right through the middle. Starting from this side, I'm trying to send this straight through the middle. That's the goal. Now turn it over. That looks pretty good. Looks like I found the middle. Now I'm going to go all the way down, back through again. See if I hit the same place. Might have to do this a couple times, but yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's right down the middle. Now I'm going to switch over to this. This is what glass bead makers use when they're doing lamp working. But you know, if you have a tiny knitting needle, something like that, you can use whatever you have. But if it's straight, it's really helpful if it's straight. So let's just squeeze this. This is way too much clay. I'm going to have to cut this. And do this several times. Make some tube beads and then slide them off and then do it again. Okay. Okay. And I like to lengthen it while it's on the skewer, because then I've got the hole when I have to do the other half. I just find it a bit easier. There's no like huge reason why I do it this way, other than I find it easier. Okay, so let us cut this in half. I'm just going to leave that on there and roll it like that. And then slide half off. This will have to be done later. Now, I may have to do this again. I may start making my tube beads and find that I have to cut some more off because they're not fine enough or thin enough for me. It could happen. So here I'm going to slide this to the middle. And when I make tube beads, I keep the end. I try to keep the ends snugged up, so you don't want it to open up at this end. You want it to be a little bit snug on the ends. Thing about tube beads is we're going to be rolling, we're going to be twisting, and you don't want to push too hard against the clay. If you push too hard against the clay, you're going to enlarge the hole. So it's always kind of light. Rolling light. Every now and then you're going to check the ends, and I do snug them up like this, because the worst thing that happens is you start rolling and the ends start splaying out like that and pulling away from your mandrel. So roll, and I twist a little bit. Do you guys remember, well, when I was a kid, my parents used to take us to Chinatown in San Francisco, you know, a couple times a year, just for fun. And we always, they always bought us these funny little toys. Well, we got chopsticks, you know, mine had the little girls on the end. My brother had the boys. But there was a Chinese toy. It was a woven thing, and you stick your fingers in and you're fine, but you pull your fingers out and the hole gets small. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to pull the clay so that the hole starts to shrink. I hope that makes sense. Think of that funny thing. Okay, so I'm actually rolling quickly but lightly. Every now and then I will give it a twist. Every now and then I check the ends to make sure that my clay is not splaying away, like so. So it's like reducing on a skewer. Okay, but you just don't want that hole to get too big. Now, if you feel the hole is getting big, sometimes just pulling the ends will shrink the hole. It's that same Chinese woven thing happening. But see, this is too big. It's too big. So now I'm going to take and cut half off, set this aside, and then this will be slid back on later. So depending on the size you start with, depending on the length of your mandrel, you may find yourself doing this more than twice. Okay, let's continue rolling. And I did soften the core clay just a little bit with some conditioning bar, because my scrap clay sometimes gets a little bit stiff. Okay, not sometimes, it's frequently stiff. So just keep checking the ends to make sure that they don't splay away. Okay, let's move it on. Let's move it along. Dude, I have not made tube beads in a long time. I like them, I just don't make them a lot. Oh, this is going to be a pretty one. Look at that. Okay, so once again, pay attention. If you think that the clay is flopping, like flopping around the mandrel, then start pulling, start tugging on it, and that will reduce the size of the hole. Don't be afraid to pull on the clay. The only time you might have a problem is if you have not adequately conditioned the clay, if it is not soft enough. But if your clay is soft and moving, you can pull on it like that. Okay, so let's keep moving it down. Twisting, moving. These are going to be pretty. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, I like these. I think that gold adds so much to them. But look how how much farther we have to go. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yippee, yippee. I'm gonna have to cut it again. Okay, there we go. Slide to the middle, do it again. Okay, so you've seen the process a number of times, so I don't think you have to watch the whole thing, because, yeah. Remember to pinch the ends. Don't ignore the ends. I am liking these very much. Now, I think I may not twist quite as much, because the more I twist, the finer these details are going to get. And I don't want to lose the gold. So I think this won't be a super twisty tube bead. The more I twist, the less of the details I will see, right? Does that make sense? Twisting is actually making all of this longer and thinner. And I think I don't want that. I think I want to see the gold. And because I want to see the gold, I'm not going to twist it so much it disappears, because that is what will happen. It starts to disappear. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to twist it like that, see, to make sure that it's still moving, because it is possible to do such a good job that, that the hole is so small that it is really against that. And then it can get hard to get off. So periodically you want to do one of these numbers, like, okay, you're still loose, you're still loose, you're still moving. Got it? Got it. We're getting close, though. We are getting close. And, you know, I am pushing just a tiny bit harder against it to move it down. Now, sometimes you may want to, like, take and give a certain part a twist that might not be twisty enough. I really like this. I'm glad I decided to do the greens. Woohoo! Let's twist the end a little bit more. Now, of course, our tube beads don't have to be as small as the ones I've made here. They're very, very tiny. So I think I'm not going to. I think I'm going to make my tube beads for this necklace about that size. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is measure them. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, peeps, so I'm going to take the 20mm side of my Marxit and I'm going to transfer it to here. And I lightly press in like that, transferring the marks, so that after it's cured, I can just cut. Yeah, it's just so much easier. Now, this is a tool that I invented in the 90s. Yeah, it was the 90s. So there's another mark, and then this is another mark. And we manufactured it for a number of years. But you know, we got ripped off by China. And now there are people who are selling it and sort of pretending they invented it. Well, they didn't. I did. So I can only be so mad at China, though. I have to tell you. Just tell you true. Because by the time we finished, the last time we tried to manufacture it, American companies don't want to deal with somebody as small as we are. And so it was so expensive to do. It was like, this doesn't make sense. We'd have to charge $40 for this tool by the time we paid what it cost to make. And at the same time, China had come out with a knockoff of my tool. Same color, everything, same color. It just doesn't have that, marks it. And they came out with it, and they were selling it for less than it would cost us to make. I mean, how mad can I be? Seriously, and who should I be mad at? So anyway, yeah, it's out there somewhere. It's out there somewhere. I know somebody who's selling it, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to help. Because that's just wrong. Because this person says they designed it. And you know what? No. I'm a pretty forgiving person in a lot of instances, but I'm going to be honest with you. That's not one of them. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so while I was on my mini rant, sorry, you saw what I did. I slid the second piece on, and now I will repeat the process, try to make it the same diameter as the first. I will mark it with my Marks It tool, and you know what? They are cured this way. I lay them flat, straight like that. Okay, so much easier than cutting them and yeah, and dealing with all these little pieces rolling around, right? Yeah, it is. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Okay, so let me get these done. Then I will make the second one. And I won't show you the whole process. You saw the process, but I will show you what it looks like. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so here is number 2. That one. I did add this. This is also in the other one. And now I will make 2 beads out of this, just like I made 2 beads out of the last one. All right, peeps, here's the second one. So we're ready to start twisting. Now, the last time I twisted that way. This time, let's twist the other way, okay? Kind of goes against my natural movement. A little more awkward. I tend to twist that way. But let's just give that a go. Like so. Dun, 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 dun. You know, I have to compare it to something like the other one. Ooh. I think I have to cut this in half. I forgot how many times I cut things in half and had to go remove and continue. But here we are. Yeah, that bright yellow is nice. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna like this one. Just all greens and gold and yellow and just a shot of turquoise right there. I like it. Okay. Let's see what you guys are gonna look like. Side by side. Then I have to decide what kind of beads I want in between. I've got crystals. I do have crystals. Just plain old crystals or crystal AB. Could just be black E beads. Haven't decided what it's gonna be yet. Yeah, I like twisting them the other way. So all the beads don't have the same twist. So this will be the second one against the first. All right. I just have to mark the 20 millimeters and off we go. They look the same. Okie dokie. All right, peeps, it is time to cure some of this. Woohoo. So I made an accordion pleated sheet. And now I will just lay these in like so they're nice and straight. Just 3 of them. Now, I would do the other side, but the other side has some printing on it. So let's just start there. I'm going to cure these. I'll keep curing. Okay, peeps, so look, we've got some cured tubes. Now we're going to make them beads. And the way we do that is by taking a rigid blade and then locating a mark, putting it in, and I hold my hands very tight, close, right? And then chop down. Like that. Now, I wasn't sure the bead was going to shoot off this way. That's why I kind of stabilized it. But here is a little tube bead. And I will chop the rest of them exactly like that. And they may fly around my studio, and I may crawl around on the floor to retrieve them. Not too bad so far. Okay. So that, in a nutshell, is how you make tube beads. How about that? Okay, peeps. Well, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make something out of tube beads. That's not part of this class, but what you see before you are just some options I'm thinking of. Now, the other beads are still in the oven. The other the other coloration, but yeah, well, you'll see at some point I will have something assembled made out of the 2 beads, the 2 tube beads I made. In the meantime, I hope you make lots of tube beads. You can see I made today's just with greens, but my goodness, you can do, and look at this, okay? Doesn't have to be a Skinner blend either, so you can just take a solid color, red, orange, separate it with the black. I think the separation colors are important. Yeah, I do. And off you go. Yeah, okay. So, that's it for today. I'm Donna Kato, and you know what? I'm signing off. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.